How do you like your food? Hot or cold? For many of us, the temperature of our meal plays a significant role in how much we enjoy it. A hot bowl of soup on a cold day or a cold slice of watermelon in the summer heat often feels just right. But what about our dogs? Does the temperature matter to them? Do they have their culinary preferences? And most importantly, what is the best choice for our pets? To find out, let's start with the comparison of canine and human digestive systems. The first noticeable difference is saliva. It plays a critical role in the digestive process of both humans and dogs. However, the composition of saliva and its role in digestion differs between the two species. For us, the digestive process begins in the mouth. As we chew our food, amylase in the saliva begins breaking down carbohydrates. This is why foods like bread or crackers might start to taste sweet after some time of chewing. They are being broken down into simpler sugars. Additionally, the act of chewing and the lubrication provided by saliva help form a food bolus that can be easily swallowed. In dogs, saliva acts more as a lubricant to help swallow food rather than starting the digestive process. Since they don't have digestive enzymes in their mouth, their primary digestion starts in the stomach and intestines. Unlike humans who chew their food using both up and down and side-to-side motions, dogs only chew up and down. With 42 teeth compared to our 32, they are better equipped to tear and crush food than to grind it. The esophagus can also stretch to accommodate larger pieces of food, so you often see dogs gulping down their food instead of savoring each bite as we often do. Why is this important? Imagine eating a very hot steak without checking how hot it is. You cut a small piece and stick it in your mouth. You might burn your tongue and mouth a bit, but you'd most likely spit it out immediately. With the way dogs consume food, they would swallow it whole, which could cause burns and injuries not only to dogs' mouth, but its throat and even stomach. Of course, in most cases, a dog would most likely turn down the food, sensing the high temperature. But as we all know, some foods might be just too tempting. If your dog shows any signs of unnatural pawing at the mouth, over-drooling, abnormal panting, has bloodshot eyes, is confused, disoriented, or displays pain during toilet breaks, and you suspect it ate something hot, you must consult your vet. That said, dogs can and often do consume warm food without any issues. In fact, a slightly warmed meal might be more aromatic and enticing for some dogs, especially if the food was previously refrigerated. Dogs don't have the same heat tolerance as humans though. The ideal temperature for dog food is approximately 38 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the meal is warm enough to release its aromas and flavors, but not so hot that it poses a risk. With around 1,700 taste buds, humans have about 9,000, dogs might seem less sensitive. However, they rely heavily on their powerful sense of smell to judge their food. So warm food might just be that thing to help entice those picky eaters. On the other end, overly cold food might not appeal to some dogs. Plus, when the food is too cold, there is a risk of regurgitation, an unplanned, non-violent evacuation of food from the throat or esophagus. It's different to vomiting, where food is ejected from the stomach and upper intestine by heaving and retching. So if you feed raw, thaw it first and let it warm to room temperature before offering to your pup. Do culinary preferences exist? Absolutely. Just like humans, dogs can develop individual tastes and preferences. Whilst these preferences might not always be linked to the temperature of food, the aroma that arises from warm food might be more enticing for some. For instance, heating dog food can amplify its aroma, which might be particularly appealing to older dogs with diminished senses. Adding a touch of warm bone broth to the dry kibble can also enhance its flavor. So, what's best for our dogs? Here is why you should pay attention to. Ideal temperature, around 38 degrees Celsius. This warmth enhances the aromatic release and flavor of the food whilst ensuring it remains safe for consumption. Incorporating variety. Warming up your canine's meal or supplementing with warm bone broth from time to time can diversify and enrich their dietary experience. Prioritizing safe practices when heating the food. Microwaves, though convenient, are known to generate uneven heat distributions and are not recommended. Instead, use a double boiler technique or add splash of warm liquid such as bone broth or water. Your pet's response. Take a moment to observe their reaction to different food temperatures and fine-tune based on their feedback. While food temperature might not be as critical for dogs as it is for us, it certainly affects their overall dining experience. By understanding their digestive system and paying attention to their preferences, we as pet parents can ensure that mealtime is always a treat for our four-legged friends.